Fidelity. As I said before, it's really the challenge now. But it's really, there's a lot of work being done around the science of implementation. We have to make sure staff are modeling appropriate behaviors, are well qualified and trained and supervised. Assessment has to also include making sure barriers are identified and removed. The dosage is an issue that we have to wrestle with. Monitoring programs and delivery, and then ultimately reassessing people to see that they hit their target behaviors. Studies are showing that competent staff, better quality implementation, less reoffending. Less competent staff, poor quality implementation, more reoffending. Talk a little bit about some of the barriers that we have seen people encounter over the years. Not that you'll have all these, but this is what often gets in the way. One thing we see in many cases is a lack of strong leadership on the part of administrators. We hear lip service, but they really don't want to change their approach. Maybe they're just doing this because they get some pressure. You don't identify someone to oversee the changes, or unstable leadership. Every time this happens a lot in the institutional work we do. I don't want to call anybody out, but we've been doing work in DJJ. Every 6 months there's a new person in charge. That makes it very difficult to get continuity going. You train people and then they leave and there's somebody new there. I'm sure you don't have that problem here. You want to pick and choose what you like. And that's a common one. Well, we like this, but we that other stuff, that's too hard. We don't want to do that. Right? Reluctant to challenge staff. Too busy to get involved in the treatment. They don't. They don't really want to get into the weeds, so to speak. We're not talking about making you a treatment provider, but we often see that the most effective implementations when the leadership is on the shop floor at some level. Especially in programs, more so. Good leaders have some involvement in what goes on in the program. They know what's going on and they're involved. Sometimes they don't understand the model, and again, I pointed out, you don't develop detailed program descriptions and manuals, and then you spend a lot of money. Have a bunch of people come in, do all this work for you, and 3 years from now, everybody's kind of forgot about it and doing something different. Mid-level supervisors, I think they're the key, especially in probation agencies, to really getting sustained change. You got to have your supervisors on board. For example, in the ethics model, we train the supervisors as part of the training. They get special attention because the way we do the video coaching is we do the first two. The third one, we do it with the supervisor. The fourth one, the supervisors are running the coaching sessions, and we're supporting them because we want to hand it over to them. We don't want to be there forever. We want them to do it. Sometimes supervisors are not going to challenge staff. That's a problem. There may not be part of the decision making. I can't tell you how many times we go into a training and we ask them why they're there, and they say because they told us we had to be there. They have no idea what it is, how it's part of the picture, and that makes it a real challenge to implement things. And sometimes they have a kind of us against them mentality. You get into that sometimes. Staff, I think there's just a natural resistance to change. I don't like to change. I drive the same way to work every day. I'm not a big change kind of guy. So there's always some resistance to change. Sometimes, especially in programs, they're true believers. The model worked for you. Whatever it is you're doing out there, it works for you, and damn, it's going to work for everybody. And so they don't want to look at different ways to do it. Sometimes we hear this in probation. I wasn't hired for this. It's not my job. I'm not a counselor. They say I'm not a therapist. it there. I tried to make it there, but resistance and turnover, especially in provider network programs, we see a lot. Halfway houses, for example, the turnover is dramatic. You know, we train people and there's a whole new group of people 6 months later. So this makes it very difficult.